Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Henchman's story, issue 6, Finite Crisis. So, yeah, we just got done with the mission in our last episode, and was successful, and we had to make a couple decisions that maybe could rub people the wrong way, but we'll see. So, let's get started. I barely remember collapsing into my bed when I finally got back into my room. I'm pretty sure that I fell asleep as soon as I made contact with the sheets. I knew this side hustle was going to be work, but underestimated just how much of a toll it would take. It wasn't that crazy compared to some of the other operations I've been part of, but I really underestimated how draining it is to do a second shift of anything after you've already worked a full day. It's going to be tempting to take more gigs, but if I don't pace myself, I won't be awake long enough to even enjoy the extra money. Unless, of course, my phone interrupts my hibernation, like right now. Christ, what time is it? I don't remember setting an alarm. My bedside clock reads 6:10. Definitely not an alarm. At least not one that I set. Is someone calling me? Phone from my phone and peer at the screen as I rub the sleep from my eyes. It's Kate. Begrudgingly, I swipe to the right and hold the phone to my ear.
Kate? How the hell are you up after last night? Didn't a robot smack you in the face?
Yeah, well, there are some things that are worth shaking that off for. Listen, I've got something important to show you. I know we only met a couple days ago, but it feels like we've been on the same wavelength since the start, you know? Like, we already know each other. Ugh, I sound like someone who says they're only looking for Libras in their kindling profile. Ignore that. I'm not talking about some cosmic connection. I just like you, Stan. And I think you like me. So there's something I need to tell you before I lose my chance, and I need to do it in person. It's just one of those things you shouldn't do over the phone. Meet me at the door you showed me. Number 1385. Come alone.
Hey, slow down. My brain's still in boot up mode. Let me just tell Dave where I'm going.
No, I mean, look, please don't tell anyone, okay? I'm serious.
I was joking. Jeez, sorry. You sure you're all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just hurry, okay? It's really important.
My sleep. Important how?
So you've said, but important how?
It's hard to explain. I need to show you. Just please trust me right now. That's all I'm asking.
All right, but can I get a dash of context? A pinch, even? Kate? Hello?
Damn it. Normally, I'd blame the cave walls for messing with the Wi-Fi, but with all the talk of hurrying, I have a feeling she just hung up. Where did that come from? Yeah, I've been getting along well, but that was a weird vibe for a 6 a.m. phone call. Not even a text. Like a same person. She had to call and wake me up. And combined with how closely she's been following me around, yeah, very weird vibe. If it were in the middle of the night, this would feel like the perfect stage for either a heartfelt confession or a heart-rendering murder if my life feels like changing genres. But at 6 a.m.? Could be anything. Still, if Kate says it's important, that's good enough for me. I take a moment to rub my eyes and stretch before rolling out of bed. I'm so tired that the first few steps are wobbly, so I slap myself a little to jumpstart my system.
Come on, man. Get it into gear.
I snatch my uniform from the floor and give it a tentative sniff. A little ripe, but not too bad. Apparently I need to hurry, so it'll have to do. No time for my usual morning routine either. So in lieu of my toothbrush, I rummage through my nightstand for an old tin of mints. Expired 8 months ago. Probably still fine. Chewing on my vaguely mint-flavored chalk and still zipping up my uniform, I hurry out the door. I walk through the halls at a brisk pace, completely unimpeded by traffic. The place is practically empty at this time of day, though I'd have at least expected to find one or two diehards patrolling the halls with gusto. The research wing is the same. I don't encounter a single guard on my way here. Surely someone was meant to have this shift. This couldn't have anything to do with why Kate called me, right? Finally, I reach my hall, my familiar lonely hall, home to my equally lonely door, number 1385, right where I left it. Except this morning, my door isn't so lonely. Kate is keeping the company leaning against the adjacent wall. She quickly spots my approach and gives me a wave. Though it lacks some of her usual enthusiasm, I return the gesture.
Hey, thanks for coming.
No problem. After all, you said it was important. Several times.
Sorry, I had to be sure. I know I might have sounded like a crazy person.
but I'm not. You know that, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm here, aren't I? So what did you need to tell me? Are you wondering what was up with Scorpion and that robot skull too? You think it was just a souvenir, or does she run a robotics chop shop on the side?
No, bigger than that. Way bigger. I'm actually not sure you'll believe me. So first, I want to show you something. You know this door that you've never opened? Well, we're going to open it.
You're gonna stab me in there, aren't you?
What? No! Why would you think that?
Well, you have been following me around a lot. I mean, somehow you just happened to be waiting for me right after I accepted that Henchman gig? Come on, you've got to admit that was more than a coincidence.
Okay, yeah, that's a little suspect. Fine, I admit it. I've been following you around a little, but not to stab you. I mean, what the hell, man?
When it comes to potential stabbings, it never hurts to double check.
That another official piece of veteran wisdom?
As official as it gets.
Right. Well, we're not getting through this door all that officially, so you may want to stand back.
Huh? Hesitantly, I take a few steps back from the door. She's not gonna blow it, is she? No. Kate's not touching the door at all. Instead, her attention's on the keypad, which she's already cracking open.
Moment of truth.
Kate reaches into her belt and pulls out a small white and blue device, which she plugs into the keypad. After a few moments of fidgeting, it lets out a friendly beep, and the door slides open with a groan.
After you. Figure you should see it first, considering how many hours of your life you've spent standing right next to it.
Wow, polite and pessimistic. This is why we get along. All right, let's see what Lord Bedlam's been hiding. Maybe this is where he stashed all that dog food.
I take a deep breath and step inside. Well, holy shit. This is a lot bigger than I expected, and what the hell is that? That monolith of a machine can't possibly be a computer, can it? But I don't see what else it could be. There are no visible pipes or mechanisms, just wires, and it looks like it houses circuitry. Getting some serious "I can't let you do that" vibes from this thing.
This has been here the whole time? I come in peace. Hopefully not evil AI person. Please don't sick any robots on me. I've had quite enough of that recently, thank you very much.
I'm sorry, it is too late, Stan. Now I must turn you into a cyborg and enslave your mind. Don't worry, we're still about 3 decades away from any serious threat of an uprising, and there's a good chance the robots get too distracted by social media to actually overthrow the government.
So this huge housing and all the circuitry inside it are going to be dedicated to posting GIFs? At that size, I bet it could just make a few thousand of them as easily as searching for one.
Oh no, by then we'll be living in a post-GIF society. It'll be holograms or astral projections or whatever.
Right, but will we still have statements punctuated by clapping emojis? I feel like all those full stops would be super appealing to a robot.
Humans are an inferior life form, period. But tragically, I could never make any 15-second dancing videos. Alas, I have no legs, and I must meme.
Oh god, we need more sleep.
So much more sleep.
But seriously, robot uprising aside, is this why you were so curious about the door on our tour? Did you know this was in here?
Sort of. I knew something like this was in here, but not this exactly. I didn't think they had enough time to set a unit like this up, but Scorpion and Bedlam must have been working together for longer than anyone thought.
So this machine is Scorpion's? I guess that makes sense. Lord Bedlam isn't exactly at the cutting edge when it comes to technology. But what did she put it here for?
And that's where things get complicated? Think, what do you know about Madame Scorpion, outside of the whole assassin thing? What are her skills? Her interests? She was Bedlam's partner on that job Wednesday, right? She showed up personally for it, even intervened. And what was she after?
Data. Not really sure what kind, but it was a private tech company. No weapons, no financials. I never really figured out anything more specific than that.
And her business, the Scorpion Group. They've got this new Henchman app, right? Others too. And how do apps identify, recruit, and monetize users? Data. The private kind that companies aren't technically supposed to keep, but always do.
Okay, I follow you. But is that really all this is about? An app for hiring meat shields?
No, it's more than that. Think about it. You were part of her second data heist in a week, and those are just the ones you know about. That would be overkill for a few apps. And it's more than a business asset to her. Come on, you saw her in action last night, didn't you? Think about how she acted. Did she say or do anything that felt off?
Yeah, actually. Remember that thing with those guards in the first room? She knew every detail about it without even being there. And when I brought it up, she started this whole cat and mouse thing. Somehow, I think she was tapping into the security system there. Then later, before I got turned into a decoy, she was able to hack open the door just by touching it. And I didn't notice her carrying anything to actually take that data with her, now that I think about it.
That sounds consistent. So, based on that, clearly she can communicate with complex inorganic systems. What do you think that means?
She's a robot.
Oh my god, Madam Scorpion's a robot.
That's what I just said.
I thought you said we had 3 decades.
What? No, she's human. She just has powers that let her brain
Oh.
work like a robot's. Sort of.
Damn it.
It doesn't officially have a name because she's the only known case, and she's not exactly forthcoming on the details. I like to call it cerebral superprocessing.
Okay, CSP.
On a basic level, she appears to absorb and process data subconsciously way beyond the rate of a normal human. However, it's expanded to a variety of physical and mental abilities.
Right, so that's how she was able to hack that door. She must have some kind of superhuman Wi-Fi, too.
Sure, if that helps you understand it better. That Wi-Fi and her enhanced physique could come from nanotech that rides off of her power's coattails, or a completely organic evolution of her baseline abilities. It's like I've been telling you, she's uniquely dangerous. And since you've been caught in her gravity, well, I figured you ought to know.
Appreciate it. I don't know if I'll be able to put it to use, but at least I know a little more about what all this has been for.
No problem. Like I said, you deserve to know at least that much. You might work for a supervillain, but the difference between someone like Lord Bedlam and Madam Scorpion is vast. You're way out of your league.
Kate, I'm always out of my league. That's part of the job. But why the steroidal server over there? Isn't all that information in her head?
I'm not sure. Maybe it's meant to augment her power or cycle new sets of data in and out. Whatever it's for, she must think it's important. She's invested a ton in it.
Her and Bedlam both, it looks like. Or at least he paid for the paint job.
If that. As far as I can tell, your boss has basically turned into a supervillain shell company for the Scorpion Group. So he might have picked the paint, but paid for it? Doubt it.
Good point. I don't think that dog food heist paid enough for a liter of soda, much less 20 gallons of paint. But hey, why don't we go find ourselves some index cards and string so we can set up a conspiracy board somewhere other than the secret supercomputer room, okay? Not that I don't appreciate the glimpse behind the curtain, but something tells me that if Scorpion finds us here, then it'll be the last thing we glimpse. Come on.
I turned towards the exit, motioning for Kate to follow.
Stan, wait.
Wait for what? Now you know I hate to pull rank, but listen to the vet on this one, okay? There are times to wait and talk things through, but this is not one of them.
I keep moving and Kate still doesn't follow.
I mean it. Stop. There's something else.
And I mean it, Kate. I appreciate you calling me up here and showing me this. Really, I do. But I can't get caught in here, all right? You told me the big important thing you wanted to tell me, so now let's go.
Once more, I turn to leave. Ow! What just happened?
That's the thing, Stan. There was one more thing that I needed to tell you.
Smoke rises from the scorch mark in front of my feet, stopping me dead in my tracks. Mouth agape, I turn towards Kate to find her training a weapon at me.
Kate?
That's not my name.
I blink, dumbfounded, and glance at the weapon, blue and white. Just like the thing she used to open the door, and just like...
Shining Nova.
There you go. Knew you'd recognize me eventually. Just had to jog your memory a little.
No way. There's just no way. This whole time, I thought I'd just been making friends with some cool new coworker, not a world-famous superhero. No, not just making friends. I've been flirting with a world-famous superhero. How did I miss it? Where were the signs? Maybe...
Sorry. Elephant tranquilizers tend to make things a little hazy. But your memory didn't need any jogging, did it? No, you recognized me from the moment you got here. That's why you went right up to me during orientation. That's why you've been following me around. It's also why you busted out all those crazy ninja moves during last night's job. And that's why Are you telling me you left your name tag on so you could remember your fake name? Seriously?
Hey, it's tough to keep everything straight when you're going undercover. There's nothing wrong with a cheat sheet.
It's one syllable. You work at the absolute cutting edge of robotics, and you can't remember Kate?
It's just, I have a lot of names to keep straight, okay? Anyway, I was going to answer 3 questions as an apology for being dishonest with you, but I'm counting that as the first one. So now you only get 2.
I don't think that's gonna cover everything.
You'll make do. Oh, come on. Fire away.
Isn't telling me. Was it all a lie?
So was it all a lie? Everything you said? This whole whatever it was?
All I actively lied about was my name and occupation. The rest was more a matter of omission than anything.
Practically speaking, I don't see the difference.
Stan, come on. I'm telling you now, aren't I? That's got to count for something. I didn't have to. Hell, I probably shouldn't have, but I wanted to. Maybe at first you were an angle, but after getting to know you, you can do better than this place.
Ah, there we go. Repent, sinner, and find mercy in the arms of the superhero church.
That's not it. I'm not here to preach to you. I care about you as a person, honestly.
So that gig last night. You're telling me you went because it seemed like a good time?
No, of course not, but part of the reason I went was to look after you.
Look after me? You got clocked by a robot.
And you nearly got shot to pieces by one.
Ha! Yeah, I did. I guess we really did have some genuinely good times.
We did, didn't we? All right, I'm counting that as 1 question. You get 1 more. Make it count.
I don't like this question thing. Yeah. Why me? I'm really curious about that.
Why me? Because we had a short conversation and then you tranquilized me? That can't be all of it.
Well, it's like I said, Stan. I like you. This isn't coming out right. What I'm saying is...
Suddenly, alarms blare, echoing through the lair stone halls, and lights begin to flash, cutting off Kate, or rather Shiny Nova, before she can finish her thought.
Shit, thought I had more time. Guess this is where we part ways. Unless... Come with me. I got what I came for, but that's just the first step. I could use your help with the rest.
How am I supposed to trust that after you just revealed that you've been deceiving me this whole time?
This isn't an angle, Stan. I'm honestly making an offer. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. All the bad luck and desperate decisions that got you here, you can undo them. A total reset. All you have to do is go out on a limb and trust me.
Or I could torpedo my career and live out my days in a trailer park somewhere, wondering when I'm gonna wake up covered in scorpions. You're asking me to risk what little I've built here on what? What guarantee?
I can't offer you one. But sometimes the only chance you have to break away from a system like this is to take that kind of risk. Sometimes you have to bet on yourself.
I think I said that at one point.
So what do you say? Ready to make that wager?
Oh, boy. Sure, why not?
Okay, you convinced me. I'll go with you. No idea where it'll take me, but screw it. Chips on the table.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm taken aback by how quickly Nova lets her guard down. Without hesitation, she lowers her weapon and starts casually walking up to me. With so much spring in her step that she's practically skipping. Still beaming, she playfully punches me in the shoulder, though she's so excited that it actually hurts a little.
And that's the exciting part of forging your own path. The possibility of it all. The world's laid out in front of you, Stan.
Not if we don't get out of here.
Oh, right, of course.
Yeah, that'd be
Save
good.
First, celebration later.
She motions to the door with her head.
Let's get moving. Main entrance is a ways off, but I think I figured out a way to get there that should avoid attention.
Main entrance? No way. Scorpion will be there for sure. Cafeteria's our best bet.
The cafeteria? Really?
Trust me, I'll explain when we get there. Now come on.
Okay. You take point then, Mr. Henchman. You won't regret this. I promise.
I better not.
We'll see.
I still have my doubts, but at this point it doesn't matter. If I'm doing this, I've got to be all in on it, or the odds are good that it ends with me getting carved up by an energy sword. And also, real quick on a side note, I have to go because there's got to be cameras there and she would have to know I was there with her. Alright. So with Kate right behind me, I start jogging for the exit. She could probably go a bit faster on her own, but I know if I push myself too hard, I'll just be a liability if we run into trouble. No, not Kate. Shiny Nova. Christ, that's going to be hard to get over. Superheroes just aren't like the rest of us. They're hardly even people. More like monuments. Big statues with shiny plaques telling you that if you uphold our good old-fashioned values, work hard, and get a little lucky, you can be larger than life. So to have spent this much time with one without even realizing it, well, it's jarring to say the least. Hell, I went on a heist with one. Not to mention all of the flirting. I really can't stress that part enough. But I've got to put it all aside for now and focus on what's in front of me. We need to get out of here, and we need to do it fast. Even with the alarms blaring, the halls are mostly empty. Only a skeleton crew is up this early, and the research wing was always light on staff anyway. I glanced at Nova, who, as expected, is having no trouble keeping up. If we maintain this pace, we should be alright. The cafeteria is a lot closer than the main entrance, and I haven't heard an announcement that specifies us as the intruders. In our uniforms, it's unlikely that anyone but Scorpion herself is going to stop us.
Oh, hey there, buddy. There you are.
Oh, crap. Dave.
I heard there was an alarm at your door, so I went to your room to assign you the task of investigating it, but you weren't there. So then I thought to myself, you know, Dave, a true squad supervisor, is always thorough when it comes to his team. And that's when I decided to check on your door myself to make sure everything was A-okay. How is good old door 1385?
Oh, you know, it opens and closes, like doors do.
Doors do open and close, don't they? Wait, it opened? That door's not supposed to open.
Oh no, not at all. It was just a turn of phrase.
How do you turn a phrase?
He means that the door wasn't really open, just that it's capable of opening. Probably.
Thank you, Kate.
Oh, hey there, Kate. How are you this fine morning? Enjoy game night?
Oh, I actually had to catch up on some work, so I didn't get to enjoy it. How was it?
Just terrific. Lord Bedlam was busy, so I got to be the race car in Oligarchy.
What?
Gosh, I didn't expect to find you here. I thought your squad was in the East Wing this morning.
I, got turned around. You know how these halls can be.
Yeah, you know, right, buddy? Now we're really in a hurry, so...
The door was open, you turned a phrase, and now an unauthorized contractor was at a door with level 4 security clearance? Stan, I expect better than this from a senior member of our squad.
You're right, and I'm just so sorry, but we really have to...
You know what my great uncle Dale Dave said about butts? Everyone has them, and by golly, they really stink. So no butts, Stan. You're staying right here until we sort all this out.
Dave, listen, this is my fault, so...
No, I'm the senior henchman here. You're right, Dave. It's my responsibility.
What are you doing?
I can be held up. You can't. Keep going. I'll deal with this.
Sorry, can you speak up? All the excitement from game night really messed with my hearing.
I look down at Nova. I can't see her eyes through the mask, but her jaw is set and her brow is furrowed in concern. I offer a weak smile, and she sighs.
Don't you dare stand me up, asshole.
She lightly brushes her hand against my shoulder and then turns to go.
Well, this seems like a squad thing, and speaking of squads, I totally need to find my own, so...
Well,
Thanks, Dave. See you at lunch.
Before Dave's brain could finish forming whatever thought he'd been working on, Nova's jogging down the hall, safely on her way to the cafeteria. Now I just have to find a way to weasel my own way out.
Ah, jeez, I totally forgot. Madam Scorpion wanted to see me after I checked on the door. Super top secret stuff, but I'll tell you everything you need to know about the door after that, okay?
sorry, but I need to check our protocol on this.
Dave reaches into one of his pouches and pulls out a small paperback book with Lord Bedlam's visage printed on the front.
Let's see. Yeah, it says I need to hold you here until you can be properly questioned. Gosh, I'm sorry, buddy, but it looks like you're going to be late.
Late? Dude, did I not tell you who I was meeting?
Don't worry, I'm sure she'll understand. It's protocol. Everyone loves protocol.
It's Lord Bedlam's protocol. Do you think Madam Scorpion is gonna give two shits what that little book has to say?
Well, she should.
But she won't.
Gosh, buddy, I don't know. You might be right about her. But if we just start ignoring protocol, what happens next? It's like a slippery domino. Once it starts, it just keeps on slipping.
I rub my eyes and sigh, trying my best to keep it together. Even if I had an hour, I'm not sure I could convince him to drop this, at least not through any conventional kind of reasoning. I might have to force my way past him, and that's a gamble. Dave doesn't have much, let's call it tactical instinct, but physically, he could really give me a hard time. Better to avoid that if I can. Maybe I just need to try a different diplomatic approach, something more personal.
You know, with all this talk about door 1385, I'm getting a little nostalgic. You remember the conversation we had there this week? It was a simpler time.
It sure was, wasn't it? That was when you gave me those dating tips, I think?
Oh yeah, things weren't going too hot on the app, were they?
No, not hot at all. But I thought a lot about what you said, you know, about people having different interests. I guess it makes sense. I mean, if all these henchcan folks like Kate can work for different supervillains, I can probably date someone who doesn't totally fit into Lord Bedlam's ideals. Right?
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. That mean you're gonna stop giving people the third degree about Lord Bedlam's crusade when you match with them?
Maybe. I'm still a little nervous about it. I'm not even sure where I should start instead. Like, what should I ask them about?
About themselves.
Themselves, probably. The whole point is to get to know the other person, right? Ask about something they like or an activity they do. Stuff like that. Just keep an open mind. They may like stuff that's totally different, but if you're enjoying talking to each other, so what? It's not as simple as I like this thing, you like this thing, so let's go out, you know? You need chemistry.
Well, I'm not much of a scientist, but the rest of that makes sense, I think. Thanks, buddy. I'll give it a try.
Anyway, it's been nice reminiscing, but why don't we catch up more at lunch, okay? See you then.
I start to walk forward, but Dave holds up a hand to stop me. Damn it, I thought that might distract him enough to let me slip by, but his memory's better than I thought.
Whoa, just where do you think you're going, mister? We talked about this. You have to wait here. It's protocol. And protocol is protocol.
What way is it?
So you've mentioned, and I get it, man, but I really need to go. So what do you say? Will you let me pass? I'm asking you as my supervisor, and more than that, as my best buddy. Help me out here.
Stan, I want to believe that. But you know, I'm not so sure that we are. Sure, when we were talking about the good time we had on Tuesday, that made sense. But that's just one thing. Overall, you haven't been very respectful lately, in my opinion. We're very nice, so when you say you're my best buddy, it makes me think that you're just trying to butter my bread.
Don't you mean butter you up?
See? That's exactly what I'm talking about. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean, but you're always trying to tie my words into a knot and toss them back at me. It's disrespectful. So you know what? No, I don't think you can leave. You're staying right here until I say you can go, because I'm your supervisor and you will respect me.
My hand inches towards my belt, finger my hilt of my baton.
I already told you that I can't stay, Dave. I'm leaving, one way or another. It doesn't matter if you're my supervisor or not.
I grasp my baton firmly and start to square my stance. So much for the diplomatic approach. Dave takes notice and reaches for his own weapon.
Oh, it matters, Stan. It matters more than anything.
Of course you think that. I've been patient with you, Dave. Real patient. Like a monk in purple spandex while you strut around with that big grin on your face, reminding me how you're in charge. Like your job title makes you so special. But it doesn't. When some Cape demigod crashes our little heists, you and I are identical to them. Whatever rank Bedlam may plaster on your ID, you're not above me. Not really. So when I say that I'm leaving, I don't think you can actually stop me.
I pull out my baton, snap it open to a flick, and press a button on its hilt. Sparks dance around its shock coils in response.
But you're free to try.
Dave's eyes narrow, and his grip tightens on the hilt of his own baton.
How dare you? You will refer to him as Lord Bedlam, Henchman 065.
Just like during Wednesday's operation, Dave acts without hesitation or thought. His baton has barely escaped its holster, and the words have just left his lips, yet he's already charging forward. But I knew that would happen, so when he swipes at me with his baton, I'm ready to block. Even with 2 hands, I stumble back. Damn, I forgot how strong he was. I mean, he's no dynamo, but for a normal guy, Dave's got some real muscle. But he's mad, and even thinking clearly, he's not exactly a master tactician. If I can bait him in and wait for something particularly sloppy, then maybe I can catch him with a counterattack.
Just surrender to the will of Lord Bedlam 065, and I'll only have your pay docked for a month. Don't make it worse for yourself.
Worse how? Would I have to spend even more time listening to stories about great-grandpappy Dean Dave Duke? Thanks to your dumbass family?
It's great-grandpappy Dean Dave Dwaynesenberg, and he was a saint!
Now, totally blinded with righteous fury for both Lord Bedlam and his endlessly bizarre family tree, Dave presses the attack, swinging wildly. I backpedal, parrying and blocking as best I can, but one particular vicious swing slips past and clips my side. It's a glancing shot, but it leaves Dave emboldened with a triumph cry. He lunges forward in a wild charge.
For Lord Bedlam!
Now's my chance. I don't have the opportunity to win a whole lot of fights, but with everything that's happened recently, I think I picked up a move or two that might do the trick. No, I did that before. Yeah. Then we go into a scuffle during last night's gig. Kate had a pretty clean takedown of that secure guard, which is a lot less surprising now that I know she's actually shining Nova. Maybe I can copy it. As Dave swings wildly, I slip into one side and deliver a sharp front kick to his kidney, sending him careening into the wall. His face. Then, as he bounces off the stone surface, I lunge for his arm and attempt to wrestle him to the ground. It's not very clean. Instead of violently pulling him down, we simply tip over into a tangled heap.
Did you just try to put your fingers in my... Stop it! Hey!
Ah, screw it. Unable to lock in the arm properly, I release Dave's appendage and activate my baton before jabbing it into the same spot I kicked earlier. For a moment, he convulses as the shock runs through his body and then at last stops moving.
How the hell does she make that look so easy?
With a grunt of effort, I push the unconscious supervisor off me and ease myself back to my feet. I let out a deep sigh of relief. At least it worked. Somehow.
Don't forget to put that ass kicking on your report, buddy.
I almost feel bad, but he really didn't leave me any options. I need to catch up with Nova or we could both be dead. Scorpion could find either of us in any minute. And I don't like that little stunt. I don't think the little stunt's going to work on someone like her. But no time to dwell on it. I need to get moving. So after taking a deep breath, I start off down the hallway at a jog, leaving Dave behind. I find myself moving on autopilot, winding my way through the fortress halls without stopping to consider my location. That's a big advantage I have over Nova, even if her pace is probably faster. So while it's tempting to push myself in an effort to keep up, I steadily jog. A steady jog is probably the best bet. Best? He said, a steady jog is probably my best bet. Okay? I just have to hope that's enough. After a time, I start seeing signs of her escape. Some scorch marks, a few of my unconscious comrades, and eventually some distant sounds to match. Almost there. I try to calm my pounding heartbeat. This is really happening, isn't it? Even with my cafeteria shortcut, we're going to have to fight our way out of here. Am I ready for that? Doesn't matter. I guess it's happening anyways. I don't know what help I'll be to someone like her, but I've got to try. The signs of Nova's passing grow more dense, but something else joins the KO'd henchman and blast marks. Long, molting scars on the floor and wall. It's still glowing from the heat of what made them. I know what that means, but I'm still not ready for the sight that awaits me as I round the next corner as I skid to a stop. Madam Scorpion looms over Shiny Nova's sword, leveled at and eyes gleaming in its flickering red light. Nova's mask flutters in the air between them, slicing cleanly in half, leaving her defiant glare unobscured.
There it is. That's the look I was hoping for. Such a selfish girl. hiding that behind flimsy masks and gaudy helmets. I could feel it last night, you know, even as you so futilely tried to subdue it. But resolve like that, it has a heat to it that can't be contained. I can't wait to watch it flicker and die.
Well, I can't wait to blast that smug little smirk clean off your face. So I guess that makes us even.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. Whether or not you're adorned in your full armored ensemble, we're hardly even.
While Scorpion's eyes don't appear to leave Nova, I see a flicker of recognition, and her smirk grows ever so slightly.
Ah, Stanley. There you are. Such perfect timing. It does make me wonder. What has you wandering the halls at this early hour? You don't strike me as one who rises with the sun. Why, have we caught you in the midst of a morning tryst? With whom, I wonder?
Well,
Oh, don't be so bashful. You must share the details, I insist. But first, be a dear and restrain this imposter. It would be fitting, I think, for you of all people to be the one to capture Shining Nova.
He's not going to do that.
He isn't.
That's right. He's not just some puppet for you to command. Stan's his own person with his own choices, and he's chosen to reject you. He's coming with me. From now on, he doesn't have to be henchman number 065. He can just be Stan, and whoever that might be is up to him.
Well, yes, so it is. Don't you see what she's doing? All Kate has done is lie to you, and this time is no different. Lies and manipulation. Stanley, listen to me. I've been very impressed with you, you know. You have potential. But when opportunity exposes its throat to you, you must learn to drive a dagger through it. Do not concern yourself with the fate of this charlatan or anyone else. Our ambition is what matters. That's the game of power. And make no mistake, it is zero-sum. Regardless of what these self-proclaimed heroes may tell you, for us to win, others must lose, starting with her. Show me you understand that, and we can realize our ambitions together. Go on, Stanley. Do it.
Stan, don't.
This is it. Whatever I do next, I have a feeling there will be no going back. I gotta help Shining Nova. I committed, and once I commit, that's it. Is that a saying? Yeah, it is now.
I won't!
I don't wait for a response before either woman has a chance to react. I charge forward, weapon in hand, right at Madam Scorpion. I can see the shock on her face as she finally turns towards me. Hard to blame her. I'm kind of surprised at myself right now, if I'm being honest. It's like instinct and emotion took the wheel as soon as I made my decision. I guess you could call this a case of fight or flight, and for once I've decided to fight. To really, sincerely fight. It was never in doubt which of those Scorpion would choose. As I draw closer, her shock turns into anger, and her sword moves to block my baton. The shift is so fast that it leaves me feeling like I'm stuck in mud. But while my reflexes are too slow for the supervillain, there's someone else who's a lot faster.
Get down!
Again, I'm too slow. I barely managed to put on the brakes before Scorpion drops into a couch, hoping to avoid whatever Nova was planning. For a moment, it looks like Nova's concern for my safety has backfired. That is, until Madam Scorpion sees the metal sphere that she's practically fallen on top of. It beeps ominously, and it rolls to a stop.
Oh, shit.
I try to cover my eyes and turn away from the blast that follows, but it still leaves my ears ringing and my vision spotty. Through the haze, I feel someone grip my arm.
Come on, move!
I don't argue, and my legs comply with Nova's request. By the time my vision's clear, we're racing down another hallway and Madam Scorpion's out of sight. For now, anyways. Nova is still leading the way, and it starts to make a right turn. Yet, even with the added confusion of the explosive, I recognize the hallway, and I resist, tugging in the other direction.
No, left. Cafeteria's this way.
There is a hint of hesitation in Nova's eyes, but it quickly disappears. With a quick nod, she follows me to the left.
You're sure about this cafeteria thing?
Positive. Faster, and there's a chance Scorpion doesn't guess we're headed there. Best bet. Honestly, I find it a lot crazier that you just rabbit seasoned a superpowered assassin.
It works more often than you think. Ask me about Dr. Calamity later. But like, later.
Right. Breathing time. Very important.
Our chatter stops, leaving only a chorus of alarms, pounding footsteps, and increasingly haggard breaths. My heart and my legs are competing over which of them can protest more painfully, but I can't afford to listen to them. We're nearly there.
Halt, you traitors! Halt in the name of Lord Bedlam! Yes, tremble, you treasonous swine! Tremble before the sight of your doom! For I, Lord Bedlam, do not suffer fools, treachery, or long delivery times on Lairdash! And like a soggy bag of fries, I shall toss your double-crossing behinds straight into the trash, and see you branded with the one-star review of righteousness! Now behold the glory of Lord... Oh, my glory!
As I sidestep Lord Bedlam's switching form, I can't help but wince.
Did you have to blast him in the crotch?
Wasn't sure it would get through the helmet.
You seem kind of underhanded for a superhero.
Breathing, Stan.
Right.
We burst through the cafeteria's doors, and Nova hesitates again. I continue onward, waving her forwards towards the far side of the room.
Kitchen.
She nods and resumes her pace, vaulting the counter while I run around it. Only when we're through the kitchen doors do I slow down. Luckily, it seems like the alarms have emptied out the whole cafeteria. We're alone.
Okay. There should be an exit to a loading dock. Phew. Oh god. Can you lung collapse from breathing too hard? Holy shit.
Loading dock? Right, for food deliveries. Good thinking.
Gingerly, we weave our way past appliances and countertops until we're at the back of the kitchen. There are, in fact, several doors. One to a bathroom, one to a meat locker, and the third that looks promising.
That's it?
I nod. She opens the door, revealing what looks like an empty concrete box, but one with thin beams of sunlight poking in through a crack in the large metal doors of the opposite wall. Man, I got all tongue-tied there.
Gate'll be locked, but there's a one-way hatch next to it. No keypad or anything, so no one will even know we used it.
So that's where the emergency exit is. Knew there had to be at least one way out without an electronic lock. That's just secret bunker architecture 101. Hey, how come this wasn't part of the tour? That seems like a serious safety oversight.
You just took my boss out with a laser to the nose, and this is where you question our competence.
All right, I'll save it for the debrief. Come on, let's get that thing open before someone wanders in here.
Shiny Nova and I enter the loading dock, letting the door close behind us. In the interest of covering our tracks, we leave the lights off, letting the blue glow of Nova's weapon illuminate our path forward. Once we reach the door, I wince at the sound it makes as I unlatch it, fully expecting to see the ominous red glow of Madame Scorpion's sword out of the corner of my eye, with every creak and groan. But our luck holds, and the only light that enters the room is the blinding white sunshine that pours in once the door at last swings open. Nova exits first, and I stumble through afterwards, shielding my eyes from the sun. I'm still squinting as I swing the door closed behind us, leaving only a moss-covered slab of metal with no latch or handle. Another minute or two passes before my eyes fully adjust. Until now, following Nova's feet as she picks her way through the woods, so I take a moment to finally raise my gaze and give our surroundings a proper look. I don't recognize anything. We must have gotten further than I thought. As if my body is just realizing this too, I stumble and come to a halt. Nova turns around.
You okay?
I realize I haven't seen her face this clearly before, thanks to the mask and the dim lighting of the lair. Her eyes are a russet brown with glints of autumn flickering beneath the surface, like whiskey and coffee.
Yeah, just give me a second.
I put my hands on my knees and start to double over, but I feel Nova's hand on my shoulder. When I look up, I find her smiling down at me.
Not yet, okay? Just a little further. Then you can rest all day.
Right. That sounds nice.
As I stand up straight, I lean on Nova for support and take a deep breath.
Thanks.
No problem. Like I said last night, I've got your back if you've got mine.
She offers a smile, and I playfully smack on the shoulder before resuming her hike, and I follow, albeit with more effort. As we walk, I try again to get a better sense of our surroundings. Though nothing is familiar, I can generally tell what direction we're headed based on the sun.
So, where are we almost, if you don't mind me asking? The highway is the other way.
That's the point. They won't think to look in this direction. Makes for a better hiding spot.
Hiding spot? Oh man, tell me we're not camping. I mean, we technically had some survival training, but I would always smuggle some energy bars with me, and I'm fresh out right now.
As much as I want to see you struggle with a tent, no, it's not a hiding spot for us.
Then what?
Nova holds a finger up to her lips and smirks.
Let me show you.
Still smirking, Nova slips into the brush and disappears. Confused, but grateful for the respite, I lean against a tree trunk and wait. The silence doesn't last long. In the distance, I hear a low, ominous hiss, the groaning of metal, and a series of quieter clicks and clangs. As that course ends, heavy footsteps replace it, stomping through the undergrowth until their shining armored conductor is revealed.
You just have to slip into something more comfortable. Think it suits me?
Holy shit! I don't know where the rebels are hiding, I swear.
Oh, right. Hang on. Let me switch off the voice modulation.
There we go. Is mine really that much freakier than Lord Bedlam's?
Just more jarring now that I know what you actually sound like. Though you could probably make a quick buck selling that tech to guys like him if you want to pull a scorpion.
I'm good, thanks. But speaking of Scorpion,
Noah's head swivels back and forth for a moment, scanning the forest. Now that I know who's in there, I can see the similarity in her posture and movements. It's surreal, like deja vu.
we're clear for now, but I can't say how long. Time to evac.
She extends an armored hand in my direction.
All aboard.
Are you going to carry me?
Obviously, fastest way out of here. Well, unless you want me to stuff you in the armored delivery pod, but I can't promise that will be any more comfortable. Don't worry, I won't drop you.
Trying to grab my butt, huh? Yeah, why not?
Is this just an elaborate excuse to grab my butt? I'm surprised, Nova. I thought a superhero would be above such base temptations.
How exactly do you think I'm going to carry you? Like, physically?
By the ass, obviously.
What, just like one cheek in each hand as I hold you over my head or something? I don't think that would work too well while we're flying through the air.
Whatever you say, but admit it. You're tempted.
A breathing mask smacks me in the face, cutting me off before I can blather on any further.
Just put on the mask, dork. It'll let us crank up the speed and altitude a little.
Fine.
I put the mask over my face and secure the strap to the back of my head. When I'm done, Nova once again reaches out her hand, and this time I take it.
Hang on. Don't forget. I've got you.
And Nova pulls me in tight. One steel-clad arm slips securely around my waist, while the other moves to stabilize my neck. I hear the suit's thrusters roar to life, and suddenly we're soaring skyward at an incredible speed. It's cold. Metal embrace is hardly cozy, but it's certainly secure. I think her joints have literally locked me in place. I am no longer in danger of falling to whatever we're flying over. Yeah, definitely not much of a view either, but I guess that's what I'd expect from Nova. She's more interested in making sure I'm protected than showing off. That was how she operated during that side gig too. Unfazed, efficient, and concerned for the safety of people she barely knew, me included. How the hell did I end up caught in the orbit of someone like this? I feel like I've crossed some invisible boundary, like I was supposed to live my life in one neat little box, and now I've left it. I can't even begin to guess where my destination lies, and not just the physical one that I'll end up at when we land. That hasn't been the case for a long time. That, as much as the wind racing through my hair and the roar of the thrusters, my heart racing. All right, issue 7, an apartment in Olympus. That's what we're going to do next. And we'll read this later. But guys, thanks very much. My henchman life is over! Am I a sidekick to a superhero now? Kind of like Robin or Speedy? Huh. I wonder. That's kind of interesting. Or maybe Aqualad? Well, we're going to find out, but only in the next episode. That was a pretty fun episode. Man, I made a lot of enemies, though. So, anyways, thanks, guys, for watching. I do appreciate it. This was a little bit long episode, but, hey, I hope it was worth it. So if you stayed around long enough, I guess you liked it. I hope. So thanks again. Leave a like, follow, subscribe, do all those awesome things to help me out. I really, really, really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you guys here again on another episode of A Henchman Story. But I'm not a henchman anymore. Bye!